is across for you at IG in Melbourne live. Stan, welcome. Interesting moves in currencies, specifically the yen. Big pressure now on the BOJ next week. The Prime Minister, a tough talk, saying get thee to the stimulus front immediately and start getting into those trenches and doing what you are damn well paid to do. What are they going to do, Stan?
Yeah, absolutely. It seems that way at the moment. And of course, that BOJ pledge to ensure that they continue to conduct open-ended asset purchases until they achieve that 2% inflation target really did see the dollar-yen come to life again today after having struggled most of the week. Of course, it pushed through that 90 level to a high of 90.1. It's since pulled back a little bit, but we do expect it to remain supported. Of course, 90 was always a target level for a lot of traders, so we did see some profit taking around there as soon as Asia woke up, so to speak. But it does seem like ahead of that BOJ meeting, it's really hard to go against the dollar-yen at the moment. Of course, it's going to feed through to the Nikkei as well, which we're expecting to see trade over 2% higher this morning. So it really does seem like a good day for Japan. We do expect next week, after the BOJ meeting, possibly a joint statement by the government and the BOJ, just highlighting that they're committed to this 2% inflation target and possibly announcing an additional 10 trillion yen of asset purchases. So this should keep the dollar-yen well supported.
The risk is skewed to disappointment, though, Stan, because there's going to be a new BOJ governor in Q2 and a deputy alongside. BNP Paribas saying, don't ratchet up your expectations for anything bazooka-like before then.
Yeah, well, it's probably one of those situations whereby they will put in a BOJ leader that's got policies more aligned to what the current government wants. So whichever way you look at it, I don't think they can be stopped at the moment. They are committed to this 2% inflation target. That's why they're in power at the moment. So even if they bring in a new leader, they just want someone who will just execute exactly what they want to see happen for the yen and, of course, for the Japanese economy.
Much for an independent central bank, and the Nikkei is rocketing this morning, up about 2.2% already. Let's talk broader market and here at home now, Stan. And at the moment, I can see the S&P ASX 200 gaining about 0.4%. The material plays, the energy plays doing well. How are you expecting us to finish up the week?
Yeah, so far for the week, we're up about 1.4%. Of course, we just failed to get to yesterday's high today, which was at 47.87. So that's probably the level to watch going into that China data. Of course, there is a data dump from China at about 1 p.m. today, local time, but it will continue to be one of those sort of cautiously optimistic sort of feelings across the market until we get a clearer picture of what's happening in China. Of course, we're quite linked up with them as we've got this massive iron ore space that relies on selling to China for us to keep growing that iron ore space. So it will make a big difference how this data comes in. At the moment, it's always hard to read what's going to happen with Chinese data, but we are expecting to see the GDP tick higher. So we'll just keep an eye on it and not try to make too many bold calls on the data. Of course, it's always a double-edged sword as well, as a really strong performance in China data might lead to them winding back on stimulus and possibly, tightening the screws a little bit. So it's always hard to see how the market will react to it until you actually see exactly how the data performed, whether it was a massive miss or a really a big beat, so to speak. So I think that will be the driving factor for the Asian region going into the end of the week.
Stan, we got to move on. Thanking you as always. Appreciate it, Stan Shamu from IG in Melbourne. We move on. The world waiting to hear from